What is up, YouTube? KM888 here, and today I'm here for you guys with just a story basically, how my YCS went. I went to YCS Ghent this weekend, and I just want to talk about my experiences. I was of course playing Pendulum, and I wasn't actually doing too bad, and I just failed to get top cut at day 2. Made a couple of misplays during the games that I lost, so maybe things could have been better, but yeah, things are what they are. But yeah, anyways, so for the YCS, well, basically beforehand, I tested a lot with a friend I met online on the Pendulum group, so yay for that. And because we were like talking, and he lives in London, so coming here is actually pretty expensive because the hotels here are like, yeah, they're pretty expensive. And I was like, you know what? You can come and stay at my home. And yeah, he got here, we play tested a little bit, built a deck together, stuff like that. And then we got to the YCS in Ghent, and round 1 we actually had to play against each other, which was crazy. Like, there were 1777 players, and I already had to play against my friend. We knew each other's deck, like, out of our head. Like, there were only like 5 cards difference in between both of our decks, so it's crazy. And yeah, so Pendulum mirror match was my first round. I did win the die roll, made a combo, and towards the end of the combo I actually used Beat Cup to put a patrol counter on my Heretic Seal, and that way he couldn't just beat over it and be done with the Heretic. Which is actually a pretty nice way to get rid of that kind of threat. It also like limits things like a Pancratops, like later on after signing most of the time. So going Beat Cup to protect like a monster like the Heretic Seal or a Appaloosa is actually a really good idea. But yeah, I won game 1 pretty easy, just doing my combo basically. Game 2 he did his combo. And I did actually see Super Poly and also Nibiru. I probably shouldn't have sided in the Nibiru, but I was maybe like contemplating. I didn't have much siding for the Pendulum mirror match, and I was thinking like if he doesn't see Servant, I can Nibiru him. Now I did see Super Poly, but he had the Secret Village of the Spellcaster active, and I didn't see a normal summonable Spellcaster monster, so that was actually kind of sad, because if I had one I could just normal summon it, and on the Heretic Seal's effect to bounce I could chain Super Poly, which would actually just clear everything. That would have been awesome, but yeah, I didn't see a normal summon, so yeah, things just went south that game. Game 3, I did kind of brick. My field was like really mediocre with just the Heretic Seal and the Voltex, just doing the Guard Dragon combo, and that's basically it. I didn't see the Servant engine, I just had to go Pendulum summon and go from there. But my opponent didn't have a lot either, so he just summoned the Pancratops, I believe, yeah, Pancratops. And with it, like, the Heretic Seal and the Voltex combo was actually kind of broken, but I kept my Voltex. He couldn't do much after in main phase 2, so I kept the Voltex, and I took control back with Master Cerberus, which is actually a crazy card. I'm going to do a deck profile one of these days, like I hope tomorrow if I find the time to make the video, where I'll just explain like card choices and things you should be playing right now. And like I summoned Master Cerberus and it had over 5,000 attack, which is like crazy. But I couldn't OTK him, so he was just like on a sliver, and I had Master Cerberus and the Voltex Dragon. I was actually contemplating on going Nightmare Phoenix, popping his low scale, which was a purple poison, but I knew he had a Black Fang in hand, so at least he couldn't go for a Pendulum summon there. And the only reason I wanted to go for Nightmare Phoenix was just in case like he top deck Super Poly, but I was like in my head, it's never gonna happen, I'll just keep the Voltex, be safe from there. And what you know, he top decks Super Poly, fuses my Voltex with my Master Cerberus and makes his own Voltex, and that was actually game. So I already lost my first round, which was terrible. It was against my friend, so it was like, okay, can't be mad at my friend, right? But yeah, I was kind of sad still. I was happy for him, but yeah, 0-1. Then round 2 I had to go up against Subterror, And to my surprise, like Secret Village won me game one. He couldn't activate his Hidden City, he couldn't activate Pot of Extravagance. Like Duality was way off, and he was actually main decking Super Poly, which so things like that was actually pretty awesome. Like getting Secret Village out, and it was enough. Game 2, I didn't see anything of my side, and like going up against a trap-based bolt with a Guru active, like everything. He even had like the Fiendes to negate my Pendulum call. So yeah, like I just scooped up after Fiendes hit Pendulum call and I went through game 3. Just hit my combo and I basically won. It was the same as game 1, only I didn't have Secret Village. It didn't really matter, like just having all the negates, it's really enough. Going 1-1 into round 3, and once again a Pendulum mirror match. So yeah, I was like really like not expecting to face that many Pendulums. I was hoping for like Sky Striker all the way, maybe a lot of Orcust as well, because I built a deck like around that. But yeah, shit happens, right? So another Pendulum mirror match. Things are just the same. Like game 1, I did my combo. Like I've won 3 die rolls up till now. I was like stoked. So yeah, I just did my combo. Just won from there. Game 2, he did his combo. And again, he had like also he saw Secret Village. Yet again, I had Super Poly, but this time no Nibiru. Which was actually sad because he didn't have the Servant to go into Jackal King. But yeah, like I saw the Super Poly, I once again didn't saw a normal summonable Spellcaster. So yeah, there went the combo and I just scooped. And then game 3, it was like I made a massive bolt. He was never going to be able to out it. I had the Heretic Seal, I had the Jackal King, the Endymion, I had a Dragster, I had the Vortex. And then in my hand, I still had the Garuda with enough spell counters on the field. And then I still had the Super Poly. So as soon as the Endymion bounced the Jackal, like I negated something with Jackal King. Then with the Endymion, I bounced the Jackal King back to my hand, replacing the counters. Then afterwards, I've used the Heretic Seal to bounce something, summon the Aether. With Aether, I banished something. Later on I went Super Polymerization, fused my Aether with one of his Darks, and then as soon as he tried to like Pendulum Summon, I just went Garuda and bounced his entire Pendulum Summon back to his hand, which wasn't a lot, like only like 1 monster from his hand and 1 from the extra deck, but I just wanted to make sure that he couldn't make some crazy shit happen like the Utopia, like Utopia double. You never know, like losing a game like that would be terrible, so I just went Garuda and bounced everything back again and I won. Like I didn't even have to use like 1 or 2 of my negates, but like his hand was even crazy, and like it was crazy, and like just my field was so massive, he couldn't do anything. Going into round 4 at a 2-1 record, so I was getting at least a little bit happier. I had to play against Crusadia Orcust with a little bit larger of a Sky Striker engine, so he won the die roll, but it let me go first. I already found it really interesting because I was thinking like what decks are probably going to be here that you go first. So I was thinking like maybe the Lunalight Orcust, Cyber Orcust would probably let me go first, Mech Knight Invoked, or Pure Cybers, like stuff like that. And I just did my combo, and I just made like the Dweller for any Orcust variant to be safe from that. And I also had Secret Village with Jackal King. So yeah, he just scooped it up basically. I didn't know what he was playing. And yeah, like I was just like, okay, if you can't go second because of my Secret Village, you're never going to go second again. So I took out Secret Villages, stuff like that. I sided in like things like Super Poly, Evenlease, and like other going second stuff. And he actually kind of bamboozled me because he still let me go first. It wasn't that terrible. I saw some of my side cards like the Nibiru, but I just used them as discard fodder for Pendulum Call. So eventually I still went off with my combo. I didn't have Secret Village of course because I sided it out. But I had a pretty big board still, so I was really happy about it. And I finally got to see what he was playing, and he was like after the match he explained me like his deck had things like mind control. With the Skystark engine, he had the Widow Anchors, and the plan was actually to steal the opponent's monsters, even enemy controller, I believe, and just steal the opponent's monsters, link them together for some Orcust stuff, using the Crusadias for the Guard Dragon play, and going from there. And that's actually a pretty neat deck idea, I feel. Probably there might have been some danger in there, but I really don't know, because I haven't seen those. He was doing his combo, and at the very end he had 2 cards left in his hand, and I only had the Heretic Seal left as a at that point as a negate, because I hadn't used my Jackal King yet, but there were no counters on it, so I couldn't use them, and I thought like my Jackal King is dead, he's only going to have monsters, he's going to try and out my board, and I have to watch out. So he goes like normal summon a Crusadia Draco, makes a Magius out of that, and I'm like, okay, I need to bounce that with the Heretic Seal right now. Because if he summons like any Crusadia, he gets the Surge and he can still keep on going, and I didn't want that. So what I did, I used the Heretic Seal, and he changed Hornet Drones. Like the chaining of Hornet Drones was actually kind of weird for me, because I had to like try and think hard about how the chain links would resolve. And eventually, like, I bounced something of my own field with the Heretic. Like during the chain, and because he activated a spell card, my Jackal King got 2 counters. So as soon as his Magius triggered to search something, I could negate with the Jackal King, so the Magius would be destroyed. And with the Heretic Seal, I could summon the Aether, banish the token. So I was actually pretty happy that I did that kind of play, but his field was empty because of that. The chain links were kind of weird, so I hope we did that right. But normally I think it's been done correctly, so yeah. I was discussing it with my opponent, and we both agreed that I was correct, so yeah. 3-1 going to round 5, I was already getting stoked, like, I was going really good, like 3-1 is decent, but 4-0 would have been better, of course. But yeah, my round 5 opponent was playing Dinosaurs. Game 1, he lets me go first. So again, I was like, okay, same shit as last game. I'm going to like keep in account all those decks that I mentioned earlier. So my opening board was conclusive of Secret Village, and then some other stuff, but it was too big for him. He did summon like Pancratops, he kaiju'd one of my cards, and he special summoned another kaiju. So I was like really thinking like, what the hell is he playing? Like, he has main deck Pancratops, he has main deck kaijus. I wasn't sure what he was playing. At least I knew something, but yeah, it didn't like really matter. I won game 1, I was happy. Game 2, he let me go first again. I was anticipating that, so nothing to worry. But I kind of bricked. My board was Secret Village, a normal summon Garuda, a set Super Polymerization, and that was it. I had nothing more. I sided Super Polymerization in, just in case like it was something going second with Orcust still. There are a lot of dark monsters in the game, so going to Starring Venom during a mid combo is actually a really good thing. Sadly, like somewhere mid combo he popped it with Nightmare Phoenix, and like he just went off. The Ultimate Conductor Tyranno just set my Garuda so he could activate spells, and things like Instant Fusion came up, like everything I wanted to see basically, and he just OTK'd me. Game 3 was pretty special, I feel. I tried to make him think I let him go first, because he's playing a going second deck, and apparently he was playing Dinosaurs, so like he summoned Ultimate Conductor in game 2, so I noticed. He had the Overraptor as well somewhere, so yeah, that was always good to know. So I tried to make him think I'd let him go first, but he just thought like, you're playing Pendulum, you're always going to go first. He didn't even think about some mind games, he just assumed I was going first, and because I was thinking like he's going to think that I'm going to let him go first, he's going to side in like all floodgates. I thought he wouldn't have any hand traps, so I saw my opening hand that was like really bonkers. I had everything that I ever wanted except a way for it to go into Jackal King. So I was already afraid at that point from the Nibiru, but I thought like, okay, no problem. He's probably decided it out because he thought he was going first. So I just went all in, and yeah, he had an Nibiru. So I do believe he had an Ash as well somewhere after the Nibiru even. But like that didn't even matter. Like the Nibiru itself was like pretty strong. um, this loss like was kind of my own fault. Because I had to room, I had the space in my hand, like all the monsters that I needed to actually go into Appaloosa before the Pendulum Summon. I could have gone, like I had Shrine, I had the Master Cerberus, so no, not the Master Cerberus. Like I had the Shrine, the Chronograph, I had a normal summon and the Strudo in my hand, so I could have gone like summon those four and go for the Appaloosa, and then just scaled up and go for a Pendulum Summon. So I would have been safe for Nibiru. My opponent even like mentioned to me like I would have won if I just went into Appaloosa at that point. But yeah, I didn't, and I got Nibiru'd. Turn after, like time is coming up, and I'm like thinking, okay, maybe I have a shot. If you can't OTK me, I can try to OTK him back. I had Overdragon and Dragon Pit in my scale, so I could get back the Harmonizing, go from there. But yeah, like he made the Ultimate Conductor, and he made like the rank 4 that's what's the thing's name, like you have to detach 2 and then you get to activate one of 3 effects, like either draw 2 cards, special summon a monster from the grave, or double something's attack. So he just doubled the Ultimate Conductor's attack, rammed over the Nibiru, and then attacked for game with the rest, which was actually a pretty good play of him. But yeah, it was kind of sad because I could have prevented all of it, and I just didn't saw the play. I just glanced over it. Like if I had been a little bit smaller at that point, I would have seen it, but I didn't. So 3-2. I was already thinking, oh my god, this is going to be like some 4-4 bullshit, right? Day 1, I'll just going to drop. But yeah, then round 6 came, and I won another die roll, so I was happy. Like at this point, I've only been going first. Like the 3 die rolls I won, I went first. The 2 die rolls I lost, they let me go first. So yay. Round 6, Lunalight Orcust apparently. Like game 1, I didn't know. I just did my combo and he scoops immediately. During sighting, he's like telling me like how he hates the combo decks right now and stuff like that. So I was like thinking like, okay, you hate combo decks, maybe Sky Striker, Salamangreat, stuff like that. But his turn comes and he just goes like combo himself with Orcust, the entire Lunalight engine. I'm just sitting there like, okay, taking mental notes of how the combo works because I've only seen it once online. The combo itself was like pretty amazing, and as soon as I knew like, okay, this is how it works, I just went into game 3. I combo again, but this time like the combo was it was so broken. I went for Servant, summoned the Jackal King with counters, and as soon as I Pendulum summoned everything, I summoned another Jackal King in the Pendulum summon and the Endymion Master of Magic. And he pretty much scoops it up there, and he shows me his hand, and he had Nibiru, Veiler, and Impermanence in his opening hand. And he was saying like, okay, if you didn't summon either of these two, like pointing at the second Jackal King and the Endymion, he could have just Nibiru'd my entire board after a Pendulum summon because of the Nibiru plus the Veiler and the Impermanence. Like, if he tries to Nibiru and I negate it, he just Impermanence. Even if I have the Endymion, I'll negate the Impermanence, and then he Veilers the Endymion. So I'd still get Nibiru'd, but then because of the second Jackal King, I was safe from that as well. So just like Pendulum summoning that was actually my win condition, which was crazy because I had it. But yeah, I just win, so 4-2, I'm happy. And then finally, like round 7, I had to go up against Sky Striker. So game 1, basically I just win on Secret Village alone already. I had like a combo, like I just normal summon a spellcaster when Secret Village, and then I just comboed off for game. And then game 2 was basically the same, only I didn't have Secret Village. So I just comboed off and I OTK'd, and yeah, pretty simple actually, because if you have the Garuda, you have things like evenly matched if needed, but like just the Garuda and the Dragon Pit were already enough to for his two negates that I didn't like, his two back row that I didn't know what it was. I knew where like set engage was from the multi roll and knew some other stuff, and then triple burst actually makes sure that Ray can't activate. Stuff like Jackal King also takes care of that, so yeah, it's like really no problem. And then like super crazy, I figured out Ray was also a dark, so it's actually a card that you can use for super poly, so which is funny. But yeah, at this point I'm going 5-2. I'm really happy. Only one round left, and I'm actually making a really good chance to go. Like I already made day 2 at this point, like going 5-2. But I really like want to go 6-2 and have a shot at topping. So round 8 starts and I win a die roll. I go combo, he scoops immediately, I don't know what's playing. Game 2 starts and it's Pendulum, so another Pendulum Magician matchup. He makes his combo and I'm like looking at my hand and I'm thinking like, okay, my hand's pretty good, I might be able to lure us out. But he was a pretty seasoned Pendulum Magician player and he just waited for the right stuff to negate, so I couldn't break through it. If he like made one misplay, like negated one thing wrong, then I could have broken his bolt. But yeah, with this hand I couldn't, and I was looking at the clock and thinking, okay, I don't want to go in time. Let's just scoop it up and go to game 3. So I did the entire combo like game 3 again, and I had the beat cup, I had the Retic Seal. So I just went like beat cup on the Retic Seal again, and as soon as he tried to break my board, he uses the Curtain Raiser, like he was playing Curtain Raiser and all, trying to go over my Dragster because it's 2200, so I had to negate it with the Heretic Seal, I don't want to lose my Dragster. And then right after that he Lava Golems like 2 of my negates. So I'm thinking, okay, this might be problematic, but I still have 1 negate left, and at that point he scales up, he Pendulum summons, nothing too much of a board. Like really, if you're going main phase 2 and you're going for a big push, at least make sure you're like going that you can make things like an Ignista, a Voltex, bounce my stuff back, and make some prominent plays. But like the field he made was really small, only 1 Jackal King with a negate, and I just won the game after, so like the turn after. So I was really happy. The guy also recognized me from my YouTube, so if you're looking at this, you're awesome. I have already forgotten your name, I'm sorry, but I've written it down somewhere, so that's all fine. So yeah, day 1 I was going 6-2, which was actually pretty awesome. I got into day 2 with like a weird feeling, because most of the time when I do good day 1, I'm like scrubbing out day 2. And like this time was no different. Like round 9 started and I go against Pure Thunder, he wins the die roll, and he ends on a Colossus and a back row. Pretty much afraid of Nibiru, I feel like. He could have maybe gone further, but Nibiru is a card these days, a lot of people are main decking it, so he just ended on the Colossus and a back row. And like my series of play was just go Shrine, Special Dark Worm, Chronograph in Scale, summon the Time Gazer, at Resolution, second Chronograph in the hand, summon it together with an Aether. Aether effect banishes Colossus, normal summon something, attack for game. So I didn't even Pendulum summon, like only having 1 Colossus, I just attack with all my big beaters and go for game. So yeah. Then game 2, he ends on a Titan, a Colossus, and 2 back row, and 2 cards in hand. One of which I know is Matrix, and the other is a blank. It appeared to be Ash Blossom during my entire combo sequence. But it didn't like really matter. Like he had the Paleozoic Dino Mysticus in his back row, and the other, like, I still don't know what it is. Like up to the day, I still don't know. He Titans one of my cards, he Ashes something, and I basically completely break his board. Even through all of that, it didn't even matter. I'm kind of stuck on Scales and a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, because I had to use Super Poly on his Colossus and one of my own monsters. Because the Titan is a light, so like maybe for Pure Thunder you should be siding your own Titan or a Predaplant Fusion, so I might go for the Predaplant. I'm not really sure of that yet. It actually came up, like, if I had the Preda plant, I would have OTK'd there and won. But I didn't. And I just ended on a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, basically, on that turn with 2 scales. But my opponent had nothing left, like, no cards on field, nothing in hand, and I was pretty confident, like I'd win there, because what can you do with 1 card, and his graveyard wasn't really set up at all. Like, he had the big fusion monsters in there, but it ends there as well. The guy, like, my man is crazy. Top decks Allure of Darkness, activates it because, well, it's the only card you have. And like, one of his 2 cards there was the Thunder Dragon Dark, and he banishes it for the Allure, adds the fusion, makes another Titan, and just, like, rams over my Starving Venom. At this point, I can't use the effect, because if I use the effect, I'm going to try and destroy the Titan, he's going to get more pluses. I didn't want that. I top deck a card, I don't see what I need, and I had to scoop it up because his damage on board was bigger than what I had. So, because of my own Destrudo. But, yeah. That was actually GG, like, top deck Allure for game, yeah. Just happened. Then game 3, my opening hand was, like, terrible. I got to... as soon as I draw my 5 cards, I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. My opening hand was 2 Dragon Shrine, Foolish Burial, Oath Dragon Magician, and Time Gazer Magician. So, as you can see, like, from that opening hand, I'm pretty much screwed already. But I can do stuff, like, if I want to. So, I go Shrine, he ashes it, which is, like, really weird, because in my opinion, you never ash a Shrine. I maybe should have activated Foolish Burial first, because that's a card most people tend to ash, but... didn't really matter, so I go Foolish Burial afterwards, still dump the Dark Worm, special summon it, get a gate 0, normal summon Time Gazer, go for Electromite and hope he doesn't have a Ghost Ogre, which he didn't have. I popped my gate 0 and I to get Harmonizing to my hand, which I sent with Electromite. At this point, like, I'm just trying to get a high scale and hoping that I can Pendulum summon that he doesn't have Nibiru, that I can go off. I top deck in from the Electromite is the Chronograph's Sorcerer, so I'm thinking, oh, awesome, I have Overdragon, I have Chronograph, I can Pendulum Harmonizing, the Dark Worm from my extra deck together with the Time Gazer, and I can go from there. And as soon as I summon it and I go Harmonizing Effect, Special Summon, he goes Nibiru, which sucked because... yeah, my entire board was gone. Maybe I should have kept Harmonizing in my hand. Might have been a misplay of mine. Not overextending. If I kept the Harmonizing in my hand, I might have lived. Because, like, after he goes Nibiru, the token is really big. And apparently, like, already using the Ash and the Nibiru, the cards in his hand weren't enough to get over the Nibiru on its own. So he had to go Nightmare Unicorn. And he bounced the Nibiru to the hand. But, like, he only had 2 cards left in his hand, and he had to discard 1 for the Unicorn, and he discarded another Ash Blossom. So I'm, like, thinking, okay, the other card might be something good as well. But, like, after attacking with the Unicorn, he just sets the card. So I'm thinking, oh, that's already kind of weird, because you were going second anyways. Why in the hell would you set a card? So it means you kept something in that you shouldn't have been keeping in. So I draw. I still have full scales. I'm pretty confident that I can beat over his Unicorn because I top deck into Chronograph, and while the strongest thing in my extra deck is another Chronograph, I still have the Dragon Shrine, so I can go Shrine to Dark Worm, special it, then Pendulum Summon, and actually go from there. But the thing that happens is I go Dragon Shrine and he chains Macrocosmos. And at this point I'm like flipping out in my head, like, what the fuck? This dude, he kept Macrocosmos in going second against a Pendulum deck, which was pretty weird because, like, why for... like, I didn't understand the reasoning. So if any of you guys, like, want to illuminate me, I'd say. That was a pretty weird thing too, but it worked out, so I call him Knock It, I guess. But yeah, I'm feeling like making a bad play won him the game right there, because he kept in the Macrocosmos, and that actually won him that matchup, which was awkward for me, but yeah, there's always that. So yeah, I kind of lost that game because I couldn't get over the unicorn. I probably should have still Pendulum summoned one, but I was thinking like, okay, if he summons a monster, he can always go into the Colossus, go from there, and OTK me anyways. So I just, and because of the Macrocosmos, my stuff in the extract would get banished, so I'm trying to go and keep it. If he doesn't see anything of a monster, he can't OTK me anyways, and then I can make a bigger push. But he saw something, Thunder Dragonhawk, and that was game. So it didn't really matter. 6-3, the dream was dead. I was basically not being able to top right there. I did, however, still decide that I wanted to play my last two games. Because, well, the experience is good for one, and I really wanted to go like further. I want to see how far I could go. So yeah, round 10. Now, this is actually funny because, and detrimental for my well-being, I guess. I went to the toilet and they were announcing like stuff all day, but the echo was like amazing. I couldn't hear anything. I went to the toilet and I came back like after standing in line and stuff like that. I look like around looking for my friends and I see the clock and it's like main event, 34 minutes and it's counting down. So I'm like, oh fuck, it already started. And 6 minutes in, so I already lost game one. So I rushed to the standings, like where the pairings are. And I see where I have to sit. I run over. I go sit like just in the nick of time for getting a match loss. So yeah, I'm being there like game loss for game one, and so the judge like he tells me like, do you know how this goes? I'm like, yeah, I'll lose game one, but I can choose who starts right now. No siding at all. So I get to choose who goes first. I'm going first. So I got the entire I had the entire combo in my hands if I wanted to, but I'm like trying to go off. I have the Jackal King for possible Nibiru for hand traps. I go LP, make the Agapane, and on the Agapane he actually uses Impermanence. And it was actually a really well played Impermanence because it made sure that I couldn't go into Vortex. But on the same time, he already used up my Guard Dragon engine, so I just go into the Heretic at that point, and I end on Dweller, Heretic, and Jackal King. Like, it's really a bad field, basically, because of a stupid Impermanence. But even though he scoops it up, so I'm like, okay, I saw the Impermanence. What can he be playing? And I'm like, I have a very anti-monster board, basically, an anti-grave, because I have the Dweller, I have a Jackal King, and I have the Heretic. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell can he be playing? Like, it's probably not going to be a Trap-based deck, it's going to be, like, Orcust, it's going to be Sky Salamangrates, something like that. And I side in the Super Polys, I sided in Evenly Matched, you name it. The Nibiru even, just in case. And it's like game 3, and he starts off and it's pure Orcust. So I'm like, oh, okay, pure Orcust. Would you look at that? And I see at my hand, no sidecars at all. But the hand is good, I'm not gonna lie. I have the Servant, I have Duelist Alliance, I have... did I have... Yeah, I do believe I had Shrine, I'm not really sure. But like, the hand was nuts. I had Desires, everything that I wanted. And he decided against Pendulum, going Dingirsu, Winda, and Babel. Like, a really good field. Like, I can only special summon once, and in Pendulum that's actually detrimental, but we have some easy ways to get over it. If you just have Master Cerberus, you can go Cerberus, Jackal, special the Cerberus, and then with some counters you can banish the Winda. Or you can do what I did. Servant, get it some counters, and then special summon it together with the Master Cerberus. It counts as one summon, so it gets over the window restriction. And at that point, you just give the Cerberus some counters, banish it, start doing some more plays, and eventually going to Electromite. Electromite sending the Aether from the deck to the extra deck, Pendulum summoning it, banishing the Dingirsu. I had the Pendulum call, so I had Overdragon and Dragon Pit in the scales. Dragon Pit effect, ditch the gate 0, pop the Babel. He started chaining his stuff, but yeah, that's really not enough. His Dingirsu got banished, so he can't pop my stuff. And eventually I went Boral Sword and I had the game on board. So even through like a Winda Dingirsu Babel field, I just OTK'd him without any side. So that's really awesome. Like against pure Orcust, you should always be winning. So that's really good. I was going 7-3 and I'm going into the last round and I'm thinking like, okay, I want to go X3. At least it's a pretty decent record to be like putting on my name, I guess. But it didn't really went that well. So I lost a die roll, and he's going like off. He was playing the one card combo deck, like starting from either the Oviraptor, Fossil Dig, or Silent Mining with the oh, what's that card called? Like the Cybers, like the Cybers, the little dragon, Silent Dragon or something. Like I really don't know anymore. But he started off with the Oviraptor, so he goes off, and his end board like is a Borreload Savage Dragon. He has the Red Archfiend Dragon Abyss. He has a Appaloosa, which he makes as his 5th summon, so he can't get Nibiru'd. The Appaloosa had 4 counters because of that. And after that, he still had something else, and then he started going into the Orcust combo. So I'm like, okay, I've seen everything that I need to know. I'm not going to be able to break this board with my current hand. Let's just go into game 2. So game 2, he actually opened a couple of hand traps, and the only thing I actually could do was making Appaloosa and Dweller. It's not a lot, but against a deck like that, Appaloosa could actually be a game winner, especially when combined with Dweller, because they can't use their Orcust stuff. So I was just hoping, like, stalling one turn out, OTKing from there. But he top decks like Pancratops, special summon it, and Pancratops is 2600, Appaloosa is 2-4 with 3 negates. He just beats over the Appaloosa, and leaving me with hardly anything. He just leaves the Dweller as it is to use the Pancratops as a measurement in case I can come back, which I couldn't. His grind game was also like way better because of the Orcust stuff afterwards, and like he won 2 turns later. So yeah, 7-4. I was kind of sad because I wanted to go X3 in the end. Well, in general, I wanted to top. So but yeah, the deck has proven to work. I was playing a 44 card build. I've already changed it up and it's now a 43 card build. A little bit more consistent, but still not that much that you can see the bricks all the time. I was really happy about the build, and today in general was amazing. All in all, I hope you guys like my tournament report, and I will be seeing you guys in a couple of days with the deck profile. So yeah, ciao!